Oh, back for another video, I see. So it's not too often I get 2 videos up in one day, but this is pretty good. Maybe I shouldn't say that in case I don't get 2 videos up in one day. Everyone will just think I'm crazy. Everyone thinks I'm crazy anyway. Let's continue then. So I just wanted to do a little run through of all the references and hidden jokes and hidden references I put in my Cartoon Network 25th anniversary fan animation I did back in October last year. Although most people would have got most of the references in there, I just thought I'd make this little video just to explain to everyone why I used what character and why I did what I did with what I did. So the video starts and we see Johnny Bravo and Bubbles, and that's because these 2 characters were in What a Cartoon back when Cartoon Network first started, which was Cartoon Network's first original series. So that was the first reference. And he gets stepped on by Hector from Gumball and Bugs Bunny pops up. Bubbles flies off and then we see Scooby-Doo, Courage and Yogi Bear in the background as Vilgax approaches. This represents how Cartoon Network used to play a lot of old shows like Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes. After Vilgax scares away Scooby and Courage, Bubbles flies up and yells, "I'm hardcore." This is a reference to the Season 1 episode Bubble Vicious, where everyone thinks Bubbles isn't quite tough enough for all the dangers and monsters and stuff out there. So she gets in the training machine and turns it right up to difficult level and trains so hard that she becomes hardcore.
Hi, I'm ready!
Oh, ain't she cute?
Professor, don't forget to...
Don't worry, Blossom, I know. Danger level 9 is way too much for our little Bubbles.
Now then, Bubbles starts beating up Vilgax in like still old superhero style punching and fighting, and then Batman turns up and does the same thing. This is a reference to the old DC superhero shows from the 60s and 70s where they did have superheroes punch and it would always come up with like a wham or a pow. Then Vilgax Collapse, we see one of the girls from Hi Hi Puffy Yumi, Steven and Connie from Steven Universe, and one of the Eds walking past as Bubbles goes down and kicks Vilgax. And then after Bubbles flies away, we see Ben 10, who's got a little bit of a twitch in his eye, and I thought it'd be funny to do that, have Batman, since Batman's, you know, he's so good at everything he does, almost. Batman took Vilgax out in like 2 seconds with the help of Bubbles, whereas Ben 10's been, I don't know how many years at this, over 10 years trying to stop Vilgax, so I thought there'd be a funny little inside joke. A little fun fact about the Ice Bear scene is we see Gumball playing a Nintendo DS, or Nintendo 3DS technically, and originally I was going to have one of the regular show characters playing the 3DS because regular show actually got a game for 3DS. But I changed my mind because Gumball hasn't got a game yet. So that was like a little inside reference to the fact that Gumball hasn't got a game yet, Cartoon Network, and maybe you should try remedying that soon. And like something else that people won't know is the 3DS Gumball has is based on my 3DS. It's got like a blue lid. It's not quite an exact copy, but that's my 3DS. And then if you see in the clip, the 3DS Gumball has is very similar to that one. The next scene has the Powerpuff Girls flying out one by one. Now this was a reference to the original Powerpuff Girls theme song where they did fly out one by one, although my version is a little bit different. So the girls fly past Chowder and become the CG Powerpuff Girls that were used in the 2014 special Dance Pants. But then they go past Grimm from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and they're in their reboot designs. And then they do that little heart explosion thing from the reboot's theme, which I might add, the new Powerpuff Girls reboot's theme is pretty cool in my opinion. Then we see Mordecai and Rigby standing at a bus stop with Casper in the background because in some places around the world Casper and the Teenagers played on both Cartoon Network and Boomerang. So Mordecai and Rigby are standing at a bus stop, which was supposed to be a reference to the episode First Day that shows you them coming to the park. But I don't know if that really came across. I think it's just them standing at a bus stop. Then we see Yakko Warner from the Animaniacs turn up, as Animaniacs used to play on Cartoon Network USA. He paints a tunnel onto a dead-end wall like they used to do in the old cartoons, takes off, Bubbles, the Powerpuff Girl, flies in, then the Coyote from the Looney Tunes comes along, crashes into the wall, and he can't go through, like normal in the classic Looney Tune cartoons. We then see Dexter and Dee Dee from Dexter's Lab standing there. Dexter wants to go to Cartoon Network, Dee Dee wants to go to Boomerang. This is a reference to how in most countries, including Australia, Dexter's Laboratory has been moved to Boomerang and you do not see it much on Cartoon Network anymore. Then we see Bubbles flying towards the Cartoon Network headquarters where there's Adventure Time, OKKO, and then the rest of the rooms are filled up with Teen Titan Go characters. And when Bubbles tries to go in, Robin won't let her and he puts up a no vacancy sign. This is a reference to the fact that in the US, oh yeah, I'm going to say almost 75% of the time they play Teen Titans Go on that channel. Robin sends Bubbles over to the Boomerang Tower where we see characters like Woody Woodpecker, Pink Panther, Tom and Jerry. Then we see Garfield and Snoopy. Garfield and Friends used to play on Cartoon Network in Cartoon Network Japan, and the Garfield show has played on both Cartoon Network and Boomerang. And recently in the US, a new show based on the Charlie Brown comics has started, and that's why I included Snoopy. And you see Twilight Sparkle from My Little Ponies at the door, because in Australia, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic plays on Boomerang.
Twilight?
Oh, hi, Spike.
It's the middle of the night. Why are you pacing like this?
Frankly, I don't know how you can sleep at a time like this.
3 a.m.?
Then we see this quick scene of Bubbles shooting past the Cartoon Network tryouts where we see Tulip from the short film Infinity Train and two Airtoon characters, which are my characters, standing in line waiting to get into Cartoon Network. This is a reference to how a lot of fans, especially online fans, want Infinity Train to be picked up as a series, and my Airtoon characters is just a little inside joke that I'd love to have my characters have a show on Cartoon Network. But I think Infinity Train has more of a chance of getting on. Another thing we see between Boomerang and Cartoon Network is Bugs and Daffy, where Daffy puts down a rabbit season sign and Bugs fiddles around with it and changes the duck scene. Daffy gets blasted. This is a reference to, even still today, both Cartoon Network and Boomerang are using these two characters. Cartoon Network still airs some of the Looney Tunes reboots like Wabbit and the Looney Tunes Show, whereas Boomerang now, actually I think Wabbit has moved to Boomerang now, and like it still plays some of the old cartoons every now and then. And then last but not least, we see Bubbles hug Twilight Sparkle. Now this was supposed to be a reference to the fact that the voice actress who voiced Bubbles also voices Twilight Sparkle, but in this scene she's in her reboot design. So her reboot voice actress isn't the same actress that voices Twilight Sparkle. So I don't know if you guys would think that reference would still stand, but that was the original idea behind it. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more awesome videos. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, Mr.E out. So, Cartoon Network, I just wanted to know, would there be any room for like the Die-Man show? No. You know, there could be, like, Die-Man doesn't take up much space. You could squint that. Oh, okay. No, I wouldn't want him to get in the way of Robin training, but like, okay then, and you got that boy that lives in the creek moving in. Oh, okay then. Well, I'll check back in another few years.